Hi folks, JP here from the podcast. Just to let you all know that the podcast is sponsored by AB Entertainment, and the AB stands for Mr. Alec Beveridge. It's a DJ and entertainment business. Alex is on Facebook and Instagram, and you can hit him up through the WhatsApp for any bookings on 07845 746 092. And also folks, the podcast has taken on a new partner, and we're partnered by MCM Framing Services and Hoops Memorabilia. If you want any jerseys, or if you've got any memorabilia sitting around you want framed or anything looked after that way, contact John Mullaney, and you can get him at johnmullaney0971@gmail.com, or contact him on his mobile 07835 072 582. And here at the Unrestricted View, we hope you're all enjoying the content, and if you are, please like and subscribe. It's free to do so, and also share amongst your Celtic family as well. Hail, hail from all of us. Good evening and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's myself, JP, and joining me tonight is my two good men, Mr. Ryan Clifford and Mr. Alan Stirling. Alan, good evening, mate. It's good to see you. Hope you're well.
Yeah, very well. Had a nice week. Hope you guys are well. And looking forward to the new season. It's like coming up to Christmas, and on Sunday we're going to unwrap Mikey Johnston present by the look at it. So, yeah, looking forward to the new season coming up. And be going with pre-season as well. It's going to be an exciting season to come because the football we've been playing has been very exciting, and it's just back to normality as well. You know what it's like, lads. Just seeing Celtic week in, week out, and that's a very happy place to be usually.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that you've rejoiced in the happiness and you've got yourself a new jersey, mate. Another one to add to your collection. It's going to look like the Lisbon Lions on your washing line now, plus the substitutes now as the taps keep accumulating. Ryan, he's doing well with his football taps, mate.
I'm hoping that the half-10 show will get me to that stage one day, mate. But until then, I'll need to just stick to podcasting until then, mate. But no, I'm good. I hope Alan and yourself as well. Anybody else just tuning in this Friday night is good as well. Yeah, looking forward to a new season. That's pre-season's been good for us. Like Brendan says, it's been one of the best he's ever had, and one of the best we've had in a long time in terms of take away what you feel about the transfer situation, just what you feel on the park. It's looking promising, especially going forward. So looking forward to the game on Sunday. It's always a good day, flag day. And I know Alan had a wee joke about unwrapping Mikey Johnston, but we're unwrapping another league trophy. It'll be a full house. Hope for the weather's nice, mate, and we can get a good start to the season as well, JP.
Yes, 100%, lads. And not only that, Alan, we've got some breaking news for the Celtic fans. Well, it's not more breaking news, but it's new news for us, as this man here, Mr. Paulo Bernardo, signs permanently for the club, and he signs a 5-year contract on a £3.5 million deal with a 30% sell-on clause coming from Benfica. Some really good news for us, mate, eh?
Aye, a very nice signing. We've seen what he could do in bits and bobs last year. It was exceptional in parts, as we've spoke about kind of quite frequently. So for that kind of money as well, I think it's a great buy. It's just the part that he's signed probably about 14 times in the last week. So
Any medicals I think he's done.
Aye. So I know. I think that I seen a tweet as well that somebody says that his medical was swimming over the English Channel to get here. So I think it's a very good signing.
I think it was better than Michael Phelps at that, no?
Aye. Better help. So I think it's a very good signing. He's got lots of potential. If he can I've said to you guys, if he can add consistency to his game, if he can hit that top level, I think he's a very important part of our squad. As we sit just now, it looks like he'll be a rotational player that will come off the bench probably, maybe playing less important games when you've got the likes of Callum McGregor, Bale Hatate and Matt O'Reilly. But that's a very high standard to hit, so there's no bringing Paulo Bernardo down whatsoever. But at the end of the day, he's still pretty young. He's been the captain of the Portuguese under-23 side. So it's all looking well. And the fact that he wanted to come back as well, that's kind of a big thing as well. So we're looking forward to having him part of the squad again, and let's hope he can have that kick on and grow as a player within Brendan's kind of coaching.
Yeah, 100%. A wee comment there for Adi Oladipo. He says, "Evening fella, just missing Baz. Where's Sheffield Wednesday been for pre-season?" Yeah, we do apologise. Barry Bannon was meant to be on, but he now has a prior engagement. He has assured us, though, that he will join us on Monday night for the phone-in and obviously the aftermath chat of Flag Day. Sheffield Wednesday have currently been over in Austria and in Germany. And they've enjoyed a bit of time with the squad, with the manager, getting the new ideas implemented. And so, yeah, and they're back at home tomorrow. They have got Palmer's testimonial match tomorrow. And they play, Ryan?
Leganes.
Yes, they play Leganes tomorrow at Hillsborough. Was it a 3 o'clock kickoff, Ryan?
One, I think Baz says 1 o'clock.
Is it 1? Is it 1? Right,
so.
Okay, there we go. So it's 1 o'clock. So Baz will be on, as I said, once the weekend's finished, and he'll be on Monday night with us. So, but get back to the Bernardo signing, Ryan. Me and you spoke plenty of times about it, mate, even before he became a permanent signing, when he was still on loan and stuff. And for me personally, it was a no-brainer to get him in the door. The way he was integrated into the squad last season, the moments he delivered on big occasions, you know, he showed that he's capable of dealing with the pressure of being a Celtic player. He scored a couple of good goals for us last season, and he set up 2 of the biggest goals that could probably turn the season. The one at Ibrox for Adamida to go 3-2 up. And then obviously the one in the cup final, effectively. He's not directly setting him up, but he's shot. Is saved by the goalkeeper, and it bounces out, and Adam's in a great place to go and tap it in. So, yeah, as I say, mate, the signing itself's an absolute no-brainer.
It's just echoing what you've said there, mate. Myself and Alan, myself and you, and we've all had chats together about Bernardo, and we've all got opinions that he's definitely a good addition to the squad. For me, I'm a big fan of him. I really like him. For me, the game against Lazio away from home was when I really kind of stood up and thought, right, this guy's got something. Don't know if anybody else noticed it, but for me, it was really, really impressive for me. He was up the park, he was defending, his energy was very, very good, and he's just unfortunate that Hatate, at the time where in January, Hatate came back in, Hatate started to kind of motor on, and it was unfortunate that Hatate's maybe just at the stage of his career where he's just a bit better than Bernardo at the moment, so he's unlucky there that he's got Hatate and O'Reilly playing in front of him. But for me, I probably will stick my neck on the line, and I think eventually he will be a starter for Celtic. And I will stick my neck on the line, and I think he'll make Celtic a lot of money. I know I've been wrong in the past, so I could be wrong again. But I think he's a top player, JP.
Ryan, do you think that's why the club have gave him the 5-year contract? Do you think obviously the club see it that way as well?
Possibly. They've obviously got to take a chance on him being very good, so they've got to go with that deal as well. Obviously, we got a wee kind of exclusive about Anthony Joseph, spoke about the bits and bobs about his deal, so we know Celtic have done well to get what they've done for the deal. People can criticise the board, that's their opinions on certain things, but on this deal alone, we've got to give them a wee bit of praise because they've obviously, whoever's dealt with the situation to get the deal done, they've got a good deal for him. So, and Benfica must think he's highly rated as well to want to put a clause on as well in terms of profit. So, I'm going to stick my neck on the line and say that I think he's going to make Celtic a bit of money. I'm not saying how much, but I do believe he'll be a...
I was just about to say that to you until you said.
I do believe it will be a lot more than we're signing for. I think £3.5 million for an academy graduate for Benfica who's done very well in their academy, done well in their youths, captain, like Alan says, Portugal 23s. He's done well at Celtic, won a double. I think the sky's the limit for Bernardo. I think he's got a lot of potential to be a very, very good player. And I'm not saying be better than Celtic or anything like that, but I can see him potentially like Matt O'Reilly getting his suitors in maybe 2 or 3 years' time. So for me, mate, it's an absolute gem signing. I wish it was a bit done earlier, but listen, he's in now and hopefully he'll be available for the game against Hibs next week. But for me, mate, it's a big signing, and I think under Rodgers, like Alan and you've said there, I think under his coaching, I think he'll be a top player, mate, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play.
Yeah, we comment for Ann Jem in the comment section. Will Barry be phoning in or appearing? Baz will be on as a panellist on Monday night with us. So he won't be one of the calls, no. He'll be on with us 3 just now. So there'll be 4 of us and then obviously whoever's going to phone in. So yeah, he'll be on with us. Yeah, Ryan, I think, it's an absolute steal in my opinion, Alan. The 3.5 million quid. I know prior to that, there was quotations of 6 million, 6.5 million, whatever it was. Because of the thoughts were because of the amount of games he played last season, albeit starting or, coming on off the bench. Did it justify that? Did it not? But obviously Celtic have managed to go and negotiate a great deal, which, in my opinion, fits all parties really well.
I think we spoke about it in depth kind of halfway through the season and before the end of the season as well. Did we think that Bernardo had done enough to match that kind of £6 million fee? And for me, I said at that time, I think we basically agreed that it didn't really live up to that. It lived up to that in patches. He scored goals, created goals, but then he went after Boyle for a few games. But you're looking at what the previous deal that we had with Benfica was for Jota, and Jota was that guy that was consistently providing the goods. So he was maybe that step up for Bernardo, so we realised we had to pay that. But Bernardo's got the potential. As long as he can put that consistency into his game, then I believe he can reach the levels of performances like Jota. But he needs to make sure that he's doing it kind of each game, because, as I say, there was like 4 or 5 games last year that was absolutely exceptional, and you would have paid the 6 million easily right on the spot. But after that, kind of slips off the boil slightly, starts still getting into the team, and then he comes back again. So I think the key word here is consistency with Bernardo. We know he's got the talent. We've seen the talent. We've seen how well he can play, in big games as well, as you said. But we need him to do that more often. We need him next year. And it's a year in growth as well. It's another year, another pre-season with Brendan, another pre-season with the squad. So you're only expecting him to come on for that. So we're hoping this year that he can add that consistency to his game. And if he does add that consistency to his game, then he's by every inch a £6 million player. But the reason we've tried to negotiate that is because of the slight inconsistencies in his levels last year. That's my opinion.
Yeah, obviously before we come to that point, we comment there from our partner, John Mullaney. He says, lads, do you think there's a danger with these 5-year contracts? It's bit us in the arse in the past. I'm not sure what John means with that. Ryan, 9 times out of 10, when you're giving a guy a long-term contract, it kind of means, mate, you're doing that with a view to be getting good money from him. So, in my opinion, that's why our football transfer model works really, really well, because you maybe keep the guy 1 or 2 years and maybe have a bit of success, give you success, help you win trophies and that, and then he obviously moves on to, I don't want to say he's not moving on to a bigger club, but he's moving on to a bigger salary for himself and a much more comfortable lifestyle with more finance involved.
I think John can come in and say if I'm right or no, but I think what he's maybe meaning is obviously guys like Tillio and stuff, they've gave him long-term deals and they've no worked. So McCarthy's both. To be fair, I see James McCarthy, right? James McCarthy was brought in for a reason. He was brought in at a time where we needed leadership, i.e. like Joe Hart, a bit of experience in a rebuild. Some players are brought in for certain things. They're brought in for certain aspects.
Well, actually, I think he was 5 years one. Yeah.
Like Casper Schmeichel, people might complain about that, right? If you complain about that, I don't know what else. I don't know what else you can do, right? I really don't. Casper Schmeichel is brought in 1 for experience, 2 for composure, 3 he's a leader, he's a winner, and 5 he's a top class goalkeeper, right? And he's brought in for a 2-year period where he looks at, and then after that, hopefully the club will move on and Sinisalo might move in. But he's brought in, he'll be told by Brendan the reason why he's here and what he's got to do here. And he said it himself, he's here to be a winner. Right? McCarthy was brought in to help, obviously, in the changing room for experience, come in and use his experience and a bit of quality that he had. McCarthy was decent when he played certain games. He was decent certain games. He was never absolutely rank rotten, and he was never, wow, there's James McCarthy 5 years ago. The game against St Johnston, without him being that nastiness, tenaciousness, to get the ball out wide to Bernaby for Jackie Marcus to score, who knows what happens that season. So there's moments you need to take a step back, and just because you get a big long deal, you've got to put parts of the game McCarthy done well in. Yes, there was some games he didn't really do well either, but McCarthy was, I think he played 16 games. It was his first season and a bit his second season, so he did play a wee tiny bit under Ange. And he done okay in games. I know people, for me, it's not been a disastrous signing. It's not been fantastic, but he was brought in at a time where Celtic needed experience. They needed people in the dressing room that knew about having been part of rebuilds, been part of big clubs, etc. And McCarthy was brought in for that reason. Yes, we all know now that when Celtic try to move forward and we see that injuries have caught up with him, he's just not in McCarthy to play with Celtic anymore, right? But for me, JP, I think I get what John's saying, that you've got to be careful in terms of how you do these deals. But Celtic, obviously, if it was Tillio, Yang, Casper, Bernardo, whoever it is, then they've given them that deal on the promise that they might do well, like you've said there, and then you can potentially sell them on. If it don't work out, then
surely Bernardo's not going to come in and just stable and he's not going to not do anything for the club. I mean, he's a huge asset for us.
For me, Bernard, like I said, I really like him, JP. I think he's really good. That could come back and bite me in the bum saying this, but I could be absolutely wrong. But for me, I've seen some comments that John said about Bobo as well. John, you're right, but see this thing about players either stealing a wage or why they're still here when they're not playing, etc., etc. See, if you're given a contract, you're going to keep a contract. If you're on good money, why would you want to leave to go elsewhere or go down to a lesser wage when 100%. You've got a contract? James McCarthy was given a contract by Celtic. So unless James McCarthy gets a move or he gets a loan deal or he gets a payment package by Celtic to release him or go a mutual agreement, why would he want to leave? If he's getting 14, 15, whatever it is, I don't know what he's getting a week, but if he's getting a decent wage, Why would James McCarthy go, do you know what, Celtic, just release me, I'm not playing. It's the same as any other jobs. Anybody who's got a job, if you've got a contract with a work, you've got a contract. So unless
if anybody's watched Sunderland till I die, you've seen the same with Jack Rodwell as well. He's done the exact same down there. So
the club give you a contract, so you're going to honour that contract unless there's ridiculous amounts of money getting put to you for another club, or there's a reason why you need to get released or you get injured, or there's things that might impact that. But James McCarthy's no stealing a wage. He's under contract by Celtic. There's other
Celtic's fault.
Aaron, there's other players at the club. Siegrist, who was there. Bain Hall kicks the ball. Is Scott Bain stealing a wage? Is Siegrist stealing a wage?
He's been given that contract. We wouldn't leave a job if we'd been given more money.
But no, on that comment with John saying...
No, John, the 5-year contract for Bernardo is more like an investment, mate, because Celtic know they're not silly. They know they're going to make money on the lad when maybe in a year or two's time when they develop him on.
See, when you look at Chelsea, they're 8 and 9 year contracts.
Yeah, no, 100%.
It's not that much.
The Bernardo situation there is a different scenario from, like, say, just say a James McCarthy. You know, that's a totally different stratosphere, in my opinion. Bernardo's going to make Celtic some money, some really good money. Again, aligning with the transfer model that we already have in place and bringing in Celtic a small fortune when he moves on.
No, you're right. Look at Scott Bain. He's getting free Celtic gear and bobbing about on the training park like a jellyfish, and he's getting 10 grand a week probably. So, but that's Celtic that give that out, so it's not his fault.
Man, the amount of Celtic tax you've got, I'm beginning to think you get free Celtic gear and all, by the way, I'm telling you.
I'm getting 10 grand a week anyway. But it's not his fault. I don't blame any of the players. They've been offered that contract. And any human being in their right mind, if you're getting offered that kind of money to play there or no play there, more to the fact, you're taking it. It's like any one of our jobs, if you're getting offered more money to go elsewhere, no matter if you're contributing or not, you're going to go for the money. So I'm not blaming Scott Bain, James McCarthy or any of the rest of them. It's the person that offered the contracts. That's the only person that's got to blame.
Yeah, 100%. The deals themselves aren't to blame for that. It's the guys that were in charge of the negotiations. McCarthy, in my opinion, it was crazy to give him the length of contract he got at the time. It's not James McCarthy's fault. He's negotiated that wage. And therefore, we can't then turn around and say to him, well, how dare you go to your bank every month and look at your balance and say, right, mate, you're doing the wrong thing. That's, that's blasphemy. How dare you? That's nuts in itself. But no, the 5-year contract for Paulo Bernardo makes perfect sense because Celtic know that they've purchased a guy, for £3.5 million. He's only about 22. What is he? 21, 22? Paulo Bernardo, 23 maybe highest.
22, I think he is.
Realistically now he's got maybe another 12, 13, maybe 14 years if he's lucky left on his career. So he's still got a long time in football to go through the various channels of where he wants to be. Celtic they've purchased quality. It's not just a guy this isn't a guy that's come in and, this is his first rodeo. He was there last season, so he knows what it takes to come and to win at Celtic. And again, he's a familiar face around the dressing room. And as I say, for me, it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. But Ryan, we move on, and we like you says at the very beginning, mate, we are looking forward to another flag day of 3 in a row. We've won now, league championships. I think it's a lovely gesture Celtic have made to Jim Craig to unfurl the flag and lead the team up the Celtic way with the trophies, and I'm pretty sure that'll bring a lot of memories back to Jim, and he'll feel as if it was just yesterday that he was doing that himself with a squad of boys that, in my opinion, pioneer everything that our club represents, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Jim's obviously been a massive part of Celtic through the years and still is, obviously. And it'd be nice for him to do that as well. I'd imagine he'll take great pride in that, JP, as well. And it's good for the club to do that for him as well. And it'll be a cracking day for him as well and his family. And like you say, Flag Day, I'm looking forward to it. Sell out crowd. Hopefully the weather's not like it is tonight in Glasgow, kind of dull and miserable. But hopefully it's a good weather forecast and Sunday. And I'm quite confident in the game that I know we might not be fully prepared that we, in terms of transfers, that we would like to be, but I think you can see by pre-season, in terms of the football on the park, we are prepared in terms of that side. So we can put our frustrations to the side, in my opinion, at the moment, about the transfers. I've said my piece on what I think and what I think needs. I'll wait to end the window now and we'll see how we go for there. It's all about leading into Sunday. We all just strive to back the manager and the team on Sunday to go and beat Kilmarnock, which it's not going to be a foregone conclusion. You've got to respect Kilmarnock. There will be, I know they've come off a defeat there in Europe, so hopefully we can maybe take advantage of that, come out for the traps. And if we play like we did in pre-season, then I don't think we've anything to worry about, JP, especially going forward. I'm actually pretty surprised if he says to us 3-4 weeks ago, if Matt O'Reilly would be here for the first league game, I'd be a bit surprised. I'd probably say no. So the fact that he's still here, and I think the longer that festers, the longer he might be here. So I think maybe on Sunday as well for Matt O'Reilly, it could be the last time he plays at Celtic Park. So again, the fans just appreciate him on Sunday because it could be the last time we see him in a Celtic jersey. So I'm hoping he puts on a good performance as well. And you might see the reaction from him as well in the game. Maybe I'm setting something up here for something that I don't know about, but you might see at the end of the game the way he reacts as well if he's going to be away. I think that's sometimes a telltale sign at the end of the game. And is it a wrap on or is it just a see you later? So maybe I'm saying something I shouldn't be saying. I don't know, but I really do feel that it's a good game on Sunday. Home. Flag Day, and it's always a good day, JP, for the fans, and you normally start it with a victory. And I think we said we would mention it. I'll let you kick it off, mate. The fact that we're not starting the season, the curtain raiser is an absolute shambles, and the SFA need to get it sorted with Sky Sports. The fact that we are playing on a Sunday at 4:30 and we're not a 12:30 kick-off or the 2 o'clock, whatever it is, the first curtain raiser of the season, the champions should be doing it, and it's an absolute disgrace.
How dare you steal my thunder? Like, that's strike two.
It was always going to happen, but
just today. I mean, where else do we need to go here? Like, on it, that's just today. Strike two. Ready, me man. One there, and that's it, man. You're in the cupboard with Liam Scales. No, it's you're borderline on strike here, no, big man. So just you hang on in there. Just you hang on in there. I've the last 28 minutes, I've been trying to play about with the contrast, man, and my eyes are playing funny buggers on me here, man.
Where'd you get a tap ball in Wembley?
I know. Where'd you get a ball ball in Wembley? Turn that tap down, mate, Corey.
For the roadworks.
I know. Aye. You just stand underneath the traffic light, you're the new amber lights, it's broke. No. Listen, I can't get my head around it at all. If it's just me, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting moody in my old age, I don't know. We should be the curtain raiser for the new season, in my opinion. We are the champions. We should be kicking off first. Now, people are going to say, it's down to Sky, JP. That might be, but tomorrow's game is on Sky. So, why are we no tomorrow's game? And why are they no Sunday's game? That's what I would ask. There's probably somebody's sitting there going to say to me, but they're playing Dynamo Kiev on Tuesday night, JP, or they're doing this on Tuesday night, JP, or whatever. That's fine, but we should be the curtain raiser for the new season kicking off. Champions should be kicking off first. And Alan, I'll let you in now, mate. for me, I don't understand why we're no.
Right, because their most views, Sky, is always a Sunday afternoon, right? Late Sunday afternoon, because you know a lot of people work on a Saturday afternoon as well, 12:30. So that's why Super Sunday is always at 4, 4:30 with English games on a Sunday. So it just so happens that the English season hasn't started yet. So they're looking for somewhere to fill their views, right? So they're looking for the biggest game in Scotland to fill that while we wait for the English season to start. So that being at 12:30 on a Saturday isn't going to fill that gap. So they're putting us as prime time for the Sunday afternoon, whereas they would usually put the English Super Sunday on. That's why they're doing it. So it should be that we start the season and we are the curtain raiser because we're unfurling the flag for us to start off the new Scottish Premier League season. But that's the reason why, is because all football fixtures, dates, times are dictated by television, and we all case at Sky Television, and their prime time for the weekend is a Sunday afternoon. You would find if the English Premier League started at the same time, then we might have happened to be on the Saturday at 12:30. But because that's not started yet, we're now filling a gap where the English Premier League hasn't started yet, and we're trying to get views for them at their prime time on a Sunday afternoon. But it's no because Celtic Girl, it's no that's Super Sunday. It's always the case that they play at Sunday. The biggest games are always on Super Sunday. So that's when you look at maybe guys are doing half shifts on a Saturday. The majority of people will be off on a Sunday, so they'll get their most views then. And that's just a matter of fact. And that's the reason why the biggest English games are always at like 4:30 on a Sunday afternoon, and they've chosen our game to be that 4:30 game.
There you are, Ryan. So I hope that that clears that up for everyone, and we can stop moaning about that now. To be fair, I wasn't even like thinking of prime time viewing, etc. I don't think a lot of fans probably would either. So Ryan, obviously Alan saying that there, that puts some of it into perspective. However, it doesn't say that, you know, we still should be the first on, in my opinion, regardless of TVs.
I still feel the champion should always open the season. Doesn't matter if it's here, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, England, Wales, Italy, wherever it is, the champion should always be the main game at the start of the season, in my opinion. Alan is right in terms of the prime time, and he is right. He's spot on. I know Francis says killing you. I get all that, but for me, then they've got to. It's just my opinion. I just feel that if it's out the realms of possibility, then fair enough. But 9 times out of 10, I feel that the champion should be leading the way. But I don't think Sky really care about Scottish football. They only care about the 4 derby games, and that's it. And I'm sure, I don't know if it's only 5 games at home I think Celtic get, or 6 as it might be now. I think it's 6 at home or 5 at home early season. So it's just before. Just before. I don't know if it's up to 5 now or 6 recently. I don't know. So I don't think, let's be fair, lads, Sky don't, the money they give Celtic, Rangers or Aberdeen, Hibs, the follow Scottish football, it's not really great compared to the other league. They only really care about JP's, the 4 derby games, and that's why the BBC and other companies who maybe deal Premier Sports, etc., they want Celtic and Rangers, them across the water, to be the finals and the semis, because that's when they're going to get their most views. They don't want Falkirk versus Aberdeen and Dunfermline versus Inverness in the semis, because they know they're going to get views. So they're hoping that we're in the final or the semis, because that's when they'll get the views. So, but listen, look, it's a bugbear of mine, but we just need to move on and we need to deal with what's
well, you notice as well, 9 times out of 10, you've got a Celtic Rangers game on. It's going to be the Sunday morning. And the reason it's a Sunday morning because we'll get the English games later on. But
you're right,
very seldom they put it on a Saturday. It's always usually the Sunday, because that's the biggest day for anybody watching football. So that's why it's mostly the Sunday. for me, I would prefer Celtic to be kicked off the league. I think that's the proper way to do it.
Is the Dundee game live? And United? Is that on telly at all?
That's away, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
That's this weekend. That's it. No, it's the first league game. The first time we've been up in a while together.
When is it? 3 o'clock tomorrow, is that no?
Aye.
No, you've only got,
Right, so it's not on the telly then?
Right.
you've got
No,
three games. You've got the game with them tomorrow.
That's a game that should. That's a game.
You've
That's
got
a game
on Monday night. I can't remember the game on Monday night.
That's a game. That's a game that should be live because that's a derby game, and it's they came up. They done well last year. That's a game that should be on TV.
Is it Aberdeen?
St Johnstone, St Johnstone Aberdeen's Monday night.
No, if you move the Dundee game to the Monday, you get a lot of attention on that because Monday night
Yeah,
a lot of football on.
Hold on. Dundee United versus Dundee is live on Sky at 1:30 on Sunday.
Is it live? Right, fair enough.
Yes.
Right, fair enough.
Right.
I'm glad it's live because that's a game. That's a game that should be live because it's a derby game. And I think I'm glad it's on. I should have done my research on that. I didn't know it was live, so apologies. But that's
We've also got a wee bit of breaking. We've also got a wee bit of breaking news for Footy Headlines. Apparently, they're ready to release. Celtic are ready to release this new retro top. It looks an absolute belter.
Oh, you're right.
If that's true, then
No, it's not.
Honestly, Footy Headlines have actually put that all over.
Island top.
It's currently all over. It's all over Twitter just now.
No.
So
the trefoil badge is right for third taps. Real Madrid, all the third taps have got that old style 80s trefoil badge on them.
Right, okay.
So
You're a man for the football taps. I'm not a fan of sleeves right enough. I hope they do bring a short sleeve version.
Trefoil compared to that.
Mm-hmm.
All the third taps have got that.
Maybe right, Ian. Maybe right.
It might be. I don't.
Yeah,
that's surprising. That's because there's no English games. There's 4 Scottish games. When have you ever seen that? Any part of the season? 4 Scottish games on Sky Telly. You'd never see that. And it's because there's no English games, so they need to fill the television somehow.
Yep.
So they take advantages at this point, but they'll not pay the correct money that we're due. And then you'll get kind of halfway through the season, you'll get one game. And there's a lot of the games that are no televised that probably should be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the way the world is and how big the English Premier League is compared to your league, but we get kind of messed about for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely that. I've had it confirmed there. It's definitely Footy Headlines that have released that they've leaked that on their site. So I took a quick shot of that there and thought I would put it up because Eddie Oladipo that commented earlier, he actually put a previous comment in and said it was there. So I went and had a look while you two were kind of chatting. And yeah, that's a jersey. So I don't know if that's the definitive one, but usually Footy Headlines are normally pretty spot on. That's where I first saw the jersey that Alan's wearing just now. It was them that leaked that as well. So usually, as I said, they're usually spot on. But yeah, lads, like Alan says there, Ryan, in terms of what's on TV, obviously fans are spoilt for choice. There is quite a number of games on now over the weekend for people to watch on Sky. And it is relatively unknown for that amount of games to be on Sky. But again, Alan, that's probably why it is because there's no English football started yet. And I'm pretty sure when that happens, we'll become an afterthought as we normally are because that's what happens. The adverts are put on right away before any managers get to speak and they come back on and sometimes a manager's well into his interview and you've missed the beginning of it and you need to then go back and see it online, and I've seen that happen a few times as well. So
that's what annoys me, JP. See as soon as the game's done, even like a derby game, right to an advert, and then they talk for 30 seconds, another advert. Going to actually do the pressers. I know there's going to be adverts, right? But there's always, like you've just said, after a game is done, right, let's go to an advert. Why don't you sit and talk with you for 10 minutes, go to an advert, Chat again. Why does it need to be right after it?
You feel as if you've got Ray Winston telling you every 2 minutes to put on a Celtic are going to win 2-1 and bet 365, did you?
But then they're trying to get gambling out of football. As soon as it goes to half time, it's 3-1, 10-1. You're like, do you know what I mean? You can't win.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. Definitely not.
I totally get it's a business. I totally get they've got to do it, but why no wait 5 minutes until they talk and then do it? It's mental.
Yeah, definitely. Addy commented, Brian, saying that you seem very quiet tonight since your appearance in BBC. Says you went full on professional. To be fair with you, Addy, I've been on BBC a couple of times now, also representing the podcast as well. Trust me when I tell you, mate, Ryan's no quiet. Maybe he's just had one of the days a day, but I can assure you the man isn't quiet. And neither am I. So
Liam Scales, right, let's go.
Well, this is a bit of the show. Well, it's going to get interesting here. This is a bit of the show. It's going to get interesting here. And the new year. Wait till Sunday's game's finished. Aye, mate. No, don't worry about that. Most people do. I'm that quick. Most people do miss me. It's probably a good thing you miss me anyway, mate. Don't worry about it. 100%. It's good that you miss me. Save your ears are pounding. Yeah. So here's a bit of the show where I'm going to ask you guys for your team selection. So I'll start with you, Alan.
Yeah. I think there's probably only one selection that's up for grabs. I think it'll be Schmeichel, Alistair Johnston, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Ryan, cover your ears, William Scales, Greg Taylor, Cal McGregor, Rio Hatate, Matt O'Reilly, Dyson Maeda.
Maeda won't play. Rodgers has already announced that in his presser today.
Did they say that? Oh, sorry. Right.
He's got a very badly bruised knee, apparently, since the Chelsea game. So he says he's going to miss Sunday.
So that makes it even easier then. So it'll be James Forrest, Nicholas Kuhn, and Kyogo.
Very quick. Right, I'm going to go because Jimmy Calderwood's sitting there with the rosary beads ready to go. I think it'll be. I've had it in good authority on this, so take it for this what you will. I've heard it's going to be Liam Scales in goals, Liam Scales at right back, Liam Scales at centre back, Liam Scales at left centre back, Liam Scales at left back. No, I'm only kidding. I've heard it's Schmeichel, Johnson, Carter-Vickers, Scales, Taylor, Hatate, McGregor and O'Reilly, Kuhn, Palmer, Kyogo. Easy Aussie. And just as I finish my team selection, he runs away. I bet he's away to actually. He's away to run it. He's just away to tell Scales to shush her while he's live.
Forrest, are you?
Yeah, I don't think he'll start me. I think Nicholas Kuhn will start the season for us. Yeah.
Put the cheese away, you idiot. I was Liam getting his gear ready for Sunday. Sorry.
Aye, Thomas, you know better, mate. Scales is on the 10:30 show tonight. He is. He's in a busy day, Liam, because he was on the Celtic podcast and that earlier as well with Cameron Carter-Vickers. So he's a busy day.
Liam is just walking through the corridor.
I'm surprised. Ryan let him out for that, to be honest.
Get back in the cover, Liam. Come on.
Right, Ryan, here's your team.
No, I think if we're being real, it's probably going to be roughly the same team as kind of last year. So it'll be Schmeichel, Taylor, Scales, Vickers and Johnson. The same midfield will be Hatate, O'Reilly and Cal McGregor. I think Kuhn will play, I think Kyogo will play, and I think he'll play Lewis Palmer. I think just by what I've seen, the wee bits and bobs of pre-season, I think Palmer might be given the go-ahead to see if he can kickstart his season. I could be wrong, because obviously Forrest has done well in pre-season, but I think he'll go with Palmer. I could be absolutely wrong. I could be wrong, but I think it might go with Palmer, mate. So apart from that, I think it will stay the same. I think it'll be interesting to see who's on the bench, because I know Nedovsky's back in full training. Will he be fit enough for the bench? Lagerbielke, will he be on the bench? I think if Mikey Johnston's on the bench, if Bosun Lawal's on the bench, I think that might prove a wee bit kind of for them in terms of maybe where they are in the team. So, but I think that's the team, JP. I don't think it'll change too much. And that's my team, mate.
Yeah, I don't think you're far away. It's actually the exact same team as I predicted there. So,
To be fair, we did see a lot of Mikey Johnston in that training video. And I don't want to say that. That's the last thing I want to say, but I seem to notice him a few times in that training video.
So you think he could play in front of Palmer, maybe?
No,
or
I don't
you
think he'll play, but Ryan's saying about him being on the bench. I just thought it was surprising how much he was on that training video. You didn't see Bosun Law, I don't think.
See, I just think...
I noticed the boy Francis Turley, though, the young lad that's just signed a new long-term deal. I noticed him in the video.
See, because it's early on in the season, normally if guys are in the squad early doors, they're probably either getting weeded out or they're not going to really be much a player. So, because normally the guys who are in the squad right away, on the bench, they're normally guys that either showed up really well or guys who are potentially going to be in the squad. Maybe I'm looking the wrong way about it, but I think if guys like Lawal, Stephen Welsh as well, other guys that are even on the bench at the weekend, then you're going to think, okay, right, they've maybe not been shown up well enough. Maybe JP, I'm being realised too much about that, but if maybe Lagerbielke's on the bench, maybe he's on his way out, because I'd like to think if he's going to be here, he will be on the bench, because you've not got a fully Stephen Welsh as well, so who knows, mate, who knows?
No, listen, 100%. More on obviously the transfer situation and what's going on. I've got a wee clip here from today's presser with Brendan giving a wee insight to it's not just as plain sailing as some people are making out in terms of trying to get bodies in the door. I'll let you see this. This is from his press conference earlier.
How we can improve the team, but there's so many moving parts in transfers. It's not just that player we need and we pick him, and it's not as simple as that. It's very complex. If it was only one way, then I would want to have had them in for now. Clearly, every coach manager would love to have the players in where they could work all pre-season, bed them in, and get them stable, and then start the new season. But it doesn't always work like that. So, but whilst the work is going on behind to improve the squad and give us those sort of guys that can make the difference for us, we'll work with the players that we have. There'll be clearly some players that'll move on, that'll feel that they want to go and play games. But I can only pay testament to the actual squad, because it can be a very, very challenging period pre-season, with players either thinking their futures elsewhere or maybe not so long to go on the contracts. But this is arguably one of the best pre-seasons I've ever had.
So obviously he's indicated there it's one of the best pre-seasons he's had. Ryan, I spoke to you earlier, Alan, I mentioned it to you earlier as well. It's probably one of the best pre-seasons I remember being a Celtic fan, in terms of the ideal preparation that's went on behind the scenes, and obviously the victories that we've managed to come by over in America. We've beaten Man City and Chelsea and DC United. I loved when he touched on there, Alan, regarding, there was an element of calmness in him there, about there's lots of moving parts in transfers and it's not as easy as people are thinking, and there's lots going on. But he kind of paints a picture there that there's obviously work going on behind the scenes. And then obviously alludes to guys, like Ryan says, Lagerbielke, boys that maybe think their futures are going to be elsewhere. There's also then that work probably going to be taking place now. But he did say that, there's 4 weeks to go in the transfer window, and it's a case of let's see where we are when that window closes.
I think he's covering up the cracks. He's a professional elite manager. I want to stay positive, but we can't when we start talking about transfers. It's just impossible. I think every Celtic fan is massively frustrated. I think Brendan, when on other interviews, you can see he's frustrated. We've got to this part of the season. I didn't want to bring this up, but we've got to the start of the season, and we're going into it with one left back, one striker. We're going into it worse off than last year. It's Celtic fans have every right to be angry, right? We all get and we all understand what Brendan's saying, that transfers are easy. Transfers are very difficult to get through. And there is lots of moving parts, and there is lots of different situations that can change and can make it hard for players to come through the door or go out the door. But when you're coming up to, we're in August now. Like, we finished the season in May. We're in August, and we've got one outfield player that was a part of the squad last year. Now, for me, I agree with every Celtic fan that I've got every right to be angry, because the amount of money we've got in the bank, the amount of ambition that we should have, we should have more on the door by now, right? I'm no asking for miracles. I'm no specifying that we should be doing something absolutely out of the ordinary. But for now, to be weaker at this point than we were when we ended the season last year, I think that's a travesty. I think that's absolutely mismanagement. The way we've played in pre-season has been absolutely spectacular. The football we've played, and that's all down to Brendan. The way Brendan's been coaching the players, but the tools that Brendan's been given at the minute, for players, for transfers, etc., I think that's just undermining Brendan as a manager. And I think we need to give him all the tools possible, every single tool we could give him to do his job properly. And I think if we do that as a club, if we do that for the board, for the recruitment team, if we give him every single tool possible, I think he can fulfil the ambition we've got with doing that wee bit better in Europe and continuing that domination within Scotland.
Yeah, obviously Alan says there, giving him the tools to do better in Europe. He did allude to in the presser, Ryan, that he, the aim is just to try and progress to the kind of playoff stages or the kind of next phase, with a hope to having guys in that can help to do that. But in terms of that small footage there, and obviously if you've seen the presser, like, what was your overall take on that yourself, mate?
Yeah, I've seen the presser, mate. I think it was 24 minutes or so, so it was quite a good watch. No, he's right in terms of pre-season. We've spoken about it on this plenty of times during the pre-season and before pre-season started. We normally don't do well in pre-season games. We normally go to teams and don't do well. We get beat quite convincingly in some pre-seasons. We don't always do well. But for me, I don't really look at pre-season too much in terms of results. I just look at how we play and the fitness of the team. Are we looking sharp? We looked far better than we did last season. Last season didn't look great. We didn't start the season great. We could beat off KILMARNOCK. We had Lagerbielke, Kondorovsky, Rustin. Again, I don't know if that's... Again, maybe we take a step back. Maybe that was unfair on them as well, and it set them off on a wrong path. You've put them right into a deep game against KILMARNOCK on a crappy park. Go and enjoy yourself in KILMARNOCK. Go and bed yourself into Celtic. They didn't get a big time to bed into Celtic either. New culture and stuff. So, don't know if that's maybe I'm making pushes for him. I don't know, because maybe I've been honest. I think I've got a soft spot for A2, and I don't know why. I don't see them as bad players. I don't see them as being players that are no good enough for Celtic yet. I don't see them what they've done wrong to no get in squads or no play. Maybe it's behind the scenes. I don't know. But in terms of the transfers, I've said my piece on things. I think that we should be in a far stronger state as well at the moment in the transfers. I feel that the fact we're going to again, it's not against these players. The fact that we could potentially, I know we're going to have Johnston probably, but Ralston, Taylor and Scales in your back line at the start of the season, I feel it's not great. We should be looking to be stronger than that at this present time. But I'm going to go with the manager on this and go with what he said, and we'll see where we are at the end of the window, and the proof will be in the pudding at the end of the window. We'll see what we've got at the end of the window. Because for me, that's when we'll be fully judged. I am frustrated that we're not going to Sunday with a left back or a striker I think a lot is up, but we've got to be positive and just go with the players we've got at the moment, and we'll go for there. I do feel the manager's a wee bit concerned. He's mentioned quality again, numbers. He's mentioned quality 2 or 3 times already this pre-season. I feel he is frustrated, but he's not going to come out and say that. He's got to be the figurehead. He's got to be the calmness. And I will admit, it does give me calmness, JP. No matter what I feel about the situation, the transfers, or whatever I feel about the club, the manager really fills me with calmness. Just the way he talks and the words he uses. And listen, the guy's an elite manager, man. See, no matter what happens, we've got him at the helm. I'm confident we'll have success. No matter what we do in the transfer, as long as he's at the helm, we'll be fine. We'll be okay. And all I want to say, if the board are listening, the recruitment team, any Celtic fans who watch us, whoever deals with this behind the scenes, other teams can screenshot this, bookmark it, they can do what they want. If Brendan Rodgers gets what he wants, whatever transfers that is, if it's rumoured of its own Beck, if it's a Belgium guy, if it's Lennon Miller, if it's a guy for Stenhousemuir, whoever it is, give Brendan what he wants and you'll see Celtic blowing Scottish football away next year. On the park, and they might do better than Europe. They might do better than Europe if you give them the best chance possible. I will stick my neck on the line and I do feel that we'll blow teams away no matter what. But if you give Brendan this style of play that he's done, Brendan gives us what we've seen so far, which is a Brendan Rodgers team, the way he plays, the way they're pressing, the way it's 2-3 touches, it's no long ball, and you add to that guys that he wants, start myself in, because the media are going to have a minefield. I try to criticise Celtic because we're not going to criticise them enough, because it's going to be 4 and 5s, 4 and 5s if they back him. You back this manager, lads, and start myself in for more celebrations, because he's going to take us on a long, long journey again, a celebration. But that's if they add to this squad even more, then I feel it'll be a good season, lads. That's what I'm going to say at the moment.
Yeah, listen, I'm perfectly calm. I have been all the way through the process. Every time I listen to the manager,
he fills you with calmness, doesn't he? It does.
He just gives you clarity. He just, he gives you an absolute fresh mind. And yeah, like I say, I loved when he mentioned today about the negative, toxic energy. And I've seen too much of it personally, and obviously he's alluded to that as well. I think that happens with every football club as well. It's not just about Celtic. It's more prominent because how big Celtic are, and like what they represent, what they go for every year, the will to win from the fans, the demand to win from inside the building. It's no different at all. I'm perfectly calm moving forward. I think Brendan secretly knows behind the scenes what's going on for him. He knows there's a clarity in his mind of what his team could look like come the end of the window. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to, as Ryan was saying there, another good season ahead. I love the fact that he highlighted it's your bread and butter. You have to be ready to challenge on all fronts. And, I loved when he mentioned, we lost the League Cup last season, and that's not sitting right with him. He said, so we need to get that back. Previously to that, Callum McGregor's done the exact same thing. Callum McGregor says we lost our trophy last season, so we need to get that back. We have got no right to think like that. But that's where this manager has now, he's made trebles the norm for Celtic. He's made that the thing, There's no club at all got a right to say, we should be winning a treble. But the mindset that he's installed now, as a fan base, that's what we're expecting. And anything that falls short of that, fans aren't happy. That's remarkable in itself, just with the work that man has done for the club on his now both spells. But yeah, I mean, there's loads of stuff to to look forward to. Obviously, Flag Day and Sunday starters, getting the first game under the belt, and then we move on. And shortly after that, you've got another League Cup game against Hibs, and this new fantastic format that there's going to be in the Champions League as well. It's going to be really interesting and really, really juicy as well to see who we get in this, because obviously it's 2 teams for that pot, 2 teams for that pot there and it. So 8 games, and yeah, like I says, it's an exciting thing. Do the panel think Mikey Johnston plays a part this year?
Mikey Johnston.
I've actually.
That's Michael Jackson.
I've
Michael Johnson.
I've actually said previously. Now, I'll let the lads in this point. I've actually said previously, I think he's rated with the manager. I really, really do. And I know previously Brendan has certain tasks to get himself fit, have his body prepared to play 2-3 games a week. Can he do that, and can he do it consistently? Can he be ready? Can he be a good teammate? Can he be ready for his team? And obviously Brendan spoke before he went to West Brom, and he told Brendan that he wanted to go to West Brom purely by proving to Brendan that he can play every week. And he went and he done that. You know, he actually went and he done that, and he was flying for West Brom. And he turned in some really good numbers at West Brom as well. Prior to leaving for West Brom, he scored a couple of goals against Dundee away from home, and he set himself on that kind of run of form that you seen when people were, going onto Twitter and screenshotting these goals and putting them into group chats and all sorts of things were flying about Mikey Johnston. And we've got a good friend in Barry Bannon, and Buzz, we've had it in good authority that Mikey was well respected down in England because of the quickness of his impact down there, and he was well liked by other professionals as well. So, as I said, in terms of Mikey playing with Celtic, that's a different ballgame. But I definitely think that the manager does rate him. Now, whether it be that Mikey can remain fit and remain in the manager's thoughts, that's a different thing. But football's a funny old game. I certainly wouldn't bet against it, that's for sure. Me, personally. Alan, I'll let you in on that one, mate.
How can I say this? No. Next. Right. No, I'm sorry. No. We seen him in the pre-season as well. It was he had a free header at goal as well, and it went about 18 yards by the post, and then the cross in that nearly went by the stadium and hit Chris Boyd in Kilmarnock. That was us in America.
I was outside the next day making sure it didn't hit my motor.
Aye, so again, we can't criticise professional footballers, right? Professional footballers have reached a far higher level than any of us three, and especially me compared to used to. But we can't criticise them. But when you look at Mikey Johnston, he's had enough chances, right? He's been there. He's 25-year-old now, so I think he's had loads of chances with different managers. It's never worked out. He's been on loan now. I just don't see where he fits in here. And I know what you're saying about Brendan kind of seems to rate him, but I don't see him rating him above the wingers that we've got at the club at present. I appreciate that Mikey's come through the youth system, and he's scored some goals for us as well. He's looked pretty decent at times, but I just don't see him having a future at Celtic. Not to be too harsh, but I just don't see it happening, and that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Wee question for the Celtic Supporters Podcast. He said, is it a Celtic thing, JP, as he's done well everywhere else? No, 100% not, because obviously I'm doing the business elsewhere. He's not actually currently doing it in the Celtic side. However, you would like to think it can only bode well for Mikey and his preparation and to come back to Celtic to be fit first and foremost. And then obviously making a contribution is a different thing for Celtic than it is to West Brom. The initial question you asked, but do I see Mikey having a future? And my answer to that, and the the be-all and end-all of it is I think the manager rates him. And I think he's very technically gifted. And I do like what I've seen of Mikey. The problem is for Mikey, he's not been consistent. He's certainly not one of the worst players I've ever seen coming through Celtic. And we've said it on here a million times, lads, that you've got to be at some sort of level to come through the ranks at Celtic to make you're coming through various channels, up against various different coaches, different guys that are assessing you all the time. So to even get yourself into being a first team ready player, that's a mission on its own. But the Mikey doing well somewhere else, it can only bode well for the individual. And obviously then whether he can sustain that and bring it into his performances at Celtic, who knows? But I wouldn't bet against him making an appearance on Sunday. I really wouldn't. Right, obviously you're saying it.
He's obviously got a lot of ability because we've spoke to guys like Michael Gardine and guys like that, Lewis Tosney and other guys on this podcast, and guys who were in Celtic in the youth. Other guys I've all mentioned, Mikey Johnston, they've heard through a grapevine years ago in the youth. It was unbelievable. His talent was unbelievable. When he came into the first team as well, when he first came in, it was you can see the boy's got talent. He's quick feet. He's got technical ability. But you have ability, but there's other parts of your game. To play at Celtic, I know people say, "Dan, how do you know?" But I'm just going by what I've seen for a fan. But you know, to play at the level at Celtic, you've got to be mentally strong. You've got to be fully fit. You've got to be an athlete. You've got to do everything right off the park and on the park. You've got to train well. Mm-hmm. Everything's all got to be in line to make it Celtic. And if it's not online, you're not going to play. Be whatever that is behind the scenes. It might not be right or on the park. I don't know. I know Mikey when he watches, but if he was, I will admit, Mikey, you've got loads of talent, more talent than I've ever had. You've obviously been like
Ryan, listen, that's probably a big shout, but Rodgers has alluded to this as well. He's probably one of the most technically gifted players we've got in the side, to be honest with you. Skill-wise, anyway.
He's got ability, JP. He's 100% got ability. And I will stick by it. To get through Celtic's youth system, you've got to have some sort of ability to get in the first team, because I do feel the first team to the B team, even now, is the biggest it's ever been. Mm-hmm. So I think you've got to be some sort of ability and character and mentally to get in the first team. But for me, I think if Mikey gets another shot, then I don't want to be harsh on him. I don't want it to sound that I'm being too critical, but I don't want us to just accept being okay. I don't want us to just accept players because they're okay. And I think Mikey at Celtic is just okay. I don't think he's flashy. I don't think he's absolutely rank rotten. I just think he's okay. And I'm going with Alan. I think it's enough chances to prove himself. If you can't get in the first team at Celtic at 25-year-old, when are you going to get in? And I think this is where he should be. Hi. This is where he should be.
Come on. There's no else to replace Diogo.
This is where
Maeda's going to miss a game then.
This is where he should be hitting. This is where he should be hitting his peak now. This is where he should be forming.
By the way, Young's there or not?
This is where Mikey should be. Obviously, he is a man now. He should be coming into the greater years of his career. He should be coming to his peak efforts. This is where he should be physically developing, physically performing into a Celtic player. And as it stands, he's not there yet. Maybe it will be this year. For me, I think it's time for Mikey to go elsewhere and play his football and get his career on a different path, because he done it at West Brom and done well. For me, Mikey Johnston, do I think he's going to be consistent enough to play at Celtic? No. I think it's time that he goes for his own development, personally. Because I think at Celtic, you've got Palmer, you've got Kuhn, you've got Forrest, you've got obviously Maeda. There's been links to another winger. So for me, I know what you're saying. I'm sure, I don't know if that's Dell. If it's Dell, it's comment Dell. But
see the comment there, Ryan. See, to be fair with you, right? Brendan didn't want to let him go to West Brom. Brendan Rodgers wanted to keep him at that time.
For me, he wasn't fantastic. He done well because at the time we were no struggling, but we weren't playing well. When they came in with a few goals against Dundee, and they all go to Celtic Park, and you're thinking, right. But I think that's us as Celtic fans, JP. We cling to a lot of hope. As soon as somebody has one good game or two good games, oh, this boy's good, oh, he's back.
Do you know what I think it is, Ryan? See, when somebody's no playing, they become a better player.
I know,
see, when somebody's away or they're injured, see, when somebody's out a long time injured or are away on loan, we'll go, oh, we've got this person to go back. And they become a better player when they're injured.
I just feel, on the full thing, it's down to the manager. If I'm the manager, for me, I'm moving them on. I've seen it. For me as a fan, I don't see anything behind the scenes, so I don't know what happened behind the scenes. We can only go on, us as Celtic fans, can only go on what we see on the park. And what I feel on the park, can Mikey Johnston do what we want to do as a club moving forward? I don't feel he's good enough to take Celtic to the next level. And if that's the case, then I think it's time he either goes on a loan deal or he goes for himself. I think Mikey himself, he seems a guy that wants to play football. I don't think he'll be happy sitting in the stands, maybe getting 10 minutes here and there. I don't think he'll be happy with that. And I think you'll maybe see JP, like I says, maybe half an hour ago on the podcast, if he's on the squad on Sunday, if he's not playing at Hibs away, if he's not playing at the home game against Hibs in the Cup, then I think you might see him potentially getting maybe what to move on. But for me, I think he's enough chances. And I think it's maybe time Mikey goes for his own development. No, because he's no good enough in terms of he's rotten or I don't want him here. I just think it's time for him as a player to go and get game time elsewhere, to develop his career and maybe get out of the player that he could be. Because I don't think Celtic he's going to get that.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. We only took half an hour there to get to that. That was good for you, Ryan. That's not bad. You're getting better with 8 times, man.
Well, let's be fair.
I'm not next week and get you quickened up a wee bit, Ryan. But that was. We got there. Jesus, man, you're going to battle Gary Neville next week, I think, for that one,
No, listen, I maybe I'm up too harsh sometimes, right? But I just think sometimes at Celtic, as some of us fans, we just accept being okay sometimes, and I don't. When I played football and when I look at football, I don't accept just okay. I want the best for my club. I want the best players we can get, and I feel there's guys out there that are probably better than Mikey Johnston than we can maybe go and get. But then again, that goes against that. Maybe I think we've seen a link today to a guy from Sweden who is maybe 18. We need to stop buying guys at that age, in my opinion, for other clubs, because what does that say about our youth system? We've got guys at 17, 18, 19. If we keep buying guys at that, when is guys at that age in our club going to get a chance?
No, but that's listen. We're not getting into that now. We could do a podcast.
I was just putting off a topic. I was just saying that. I was just saying that there.
I know what you're saying, but listen, I like Mikey. I think he's got a lot of attributes, and if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I certainly want to bet against him playing for Celtic.
No, you're spot on, Jerry. Spot on, mate.
Just that's what to say, JP.
I want to bet against him playing and the team again. What's that?
Just that's what to say, Isa, I like Mikey. You're a good guy, Mikey, but Jan Victor, think you're up.
No, he's got a lot of talent.
I'll remind you that if he comes off the bench and bangs one in for us on Sunday.
He's got a lot of talent, by the way. See if he stays and he does well this season, brilliant. But I just feel for his own development, and I think he's the sort of guy that could take Celtic forward. I just don't see it. It's just my opinion.
You see that about every player in the team, though, mate. So it's not just Mikey. You see that about every one of our players. Is a guy that's got to take us forward? Is he got to do this? We could get better.
There's guys in this team right now that can play Europe and make us better. Matt O'Reilly, Rio Hatati, and McGregor. They're 3 guys that can help us next season. Kyogo, if he's firing, they guys can help us. Maeda's work rate will help us in Europe. But
looking forward to seeing him on Sunday, I know, because he's been flying in pre-season.
I'm not going to mention the guys at the back who you know I feel that are going to know progresses. And that's just parts, I think, that's the biggest part for me, JP, that needs strengthened. It's the back line. If you get that better, then I think you'll be a better Celtic Union next year. That's what I feel is the bit that we need to get right. What's that?
Thomas, rhyme with a transferred Larson back in the day.
Thomas,
By the way, especially getting a Bobby to Jack Charlie and then scoring an OD against FC Tyrol the following week.
Thomas, I've seen enough. I know what you're saying, mate. It's a laugh and a joke. I get it, mate. I'm off for banter, but there's certain guys in Celtic team just because I've done okay in the past that they've got to stay in the team or they've got to keep going. And I just want better every single year. If I'm too ruthless, if I'm too harsh on players, then I'm sorry, but I just want the best from my club, and I feel there's a lot more out there that we can maybe potentially go and buy if you be smart enough and you look better in different outlets. And I just feel that there's maybe certain players in this team that have their shelf life's been able to move on in football in a few years' time in certain aspects in life. I'll move on to certain things, and that's just the way it happens.
Yeah, 100%.
That's just remained stagnant at Celtic. When you look at Mikey Johnston, he's had so many years to kind of make that impact. And I think at the start we were all looking and we all expected him to make that impact. But there's too many.
But I agree with
Jake.
I agree with you as well. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't be against it.
I'm fully expecting him to serve me a pie and a burger and a Coca-Cola on Sunday.
You can't really be thinking about Scott Bain when you go to that jersey, mate. You need to be in his good books now.
By the way, he looks at Scott Bain tonight, by the way. Look
at him, he's going to be Scott Bain glare about him there, isn't he?
Just get goals, you big keeper, Alan. You big keeper.
He's been walking down the main street earlier going, smell the glove, mate.
Aye. Sorry, I don't want to go, Alan. Sorry to interrupt.
Aye.
No, that was everything.
God, man, I get a flight there. I feel like Winston when he comes out the lift with eyes and he goes, "Oof, I got a baby one there."
Are we going for predictions or are we leaving that to another time?
No, listen, you've mentioned it, so why don't you give a prediction and you've given me your team, so give a prediction, mate, you're saying.
Well, my prediction for Sunday, I think we'll win the game. I think I'm going to go 3-0 in a good performance, but my predictions for the seasons overall, I think Kyogo will be top goal scorer. If Matt O'Reilly stays, I think he'll be the main man again. If he doesn't, I think it'll be Hatate. I think overall in the league, I think Lennon Miller will get player of the year, young player of the year. I think that boy's got a big potential to be a good player. Again, ready, team across the water. You can. No, potential to be a good player. Aye. The other Aberdeen fans, team across the water. You can screenshot this. Get ready, you can bookmark it. I think Celtic won the treble. I think we'll win the league by over 8 points. I think Kyogo will be top goal scorer. I think we might possibly fail in Europe.
Jesus, man, I thought we were talking about a scoreline for Sunday, man. He went full Jimmy, called about the night, by the way.
It all depends how we go in the next 4 weeks, how we do in Europe, and obviously the draw, JP, like you said, the lucky draw as well, mate. That's a big thing as well, who we get for our games. But I really do feel in the league, I think we're going to cook, boys. Again, people can screenshot this and bookmark it. It's just my opinion. Trebles are so hard to do. Doubles are so hard to do. But I just look at the state they're in across the water. The manager, the way he's talking, for me, I just feel we've got an unbelievable opportunity now to do something special next season. And for me, I think we are. People think I'm too positive or I think too far ahead. But my prediction is I think we'll win a treble next year. I think the squad's. I just think in terms of them across the water, I just think they're in a really, really poor state, and I think we'll just have a lot of energy going forward. And I really think next season, lads, strap in and get the beers on ice because I'm not forward in it. I know I've seen it. I'm not reacting to it.
I've got Mel and just the beers on ice, mate. I've got the champers on ice.
Have you bought a moe?
Right, I'm not going full Jimmy Calderwood there like the way you just have. Your rosary beads are went flying tonight, not just rattling. Alan, I don't know if you want to follow suit there, mate. Obviously, before we finish up, are you going to give some predictions yourself?
That's what I
You want to specify a prediction
I was talking about I was talking about the
They
game.
sent me down a tunnel
Sunday.
there, man. I was only, I thought we
Yeah,
were going to do a couple predictions.
listen. I think the way you were going there, I think there's a fucking shoot into your tunnel. I think you were going down a bobsleigh into your tunnel or whatever
How
you were
many
doing.
yellow girls is Dundee going to get?
I know. I think John Collins will come back and score a winner against Partick Thistle in the League Cup. Wow, man, you went into full speed there, man. That was like,
I'll keep it short and sweet. I think it'll be Celtic 4-1.
And tomorrow's 20 degrees in Inverness.
hey, let Big Alan make his prediction. You had your thinking,
I think Celtic 4-1, Kyogo first goal.
You see, then I go, oh, controversial.
William Scales, aye? No, I think 4-1.
OG.
no,
Overhead, OG.
Kyogo. He meant to say there, Kyogo's scoring the first goal, and then Liam Scales scores a hat trick after that.
I'll take that all day long. I'll just need to put the bleach back in the cupboard for another week.
Put the crack back in the cupboard after that.
But I'm not doing that now. I'm not going to start making wild predictions or big predictions or long predictions, should I say?
Cheers, James. Thanks a lot.
I'm going to say. He'd more enthusiasm there, James, what Martin Luther King did in a meeting with the clergy, man, I'm telling you. But
James, if I'm a priest, I'm doing it in double denim, mate.
See, Ryan Susan on Tuesday nights like the people's front of Judea, man. There's meetings about meetings. It's brilliant, man. They'll have a seance at 7:30. Superb, man. But it's no, I'm going to go 4-0. I think we'll whack them. And I'm going to go Kyogo hat-trick. And I think Palmer will score the fourth.
Sounds good to me, mate.
To be fair, John Kennedy can score 2 and all if he wants, but that doesn't really bother me as long as we get the victory and start the season well. But
Gavin Stratton back field for the halfway line.
I do think Gavin Stratton and off a laptop. That'll do me 100%. But yeah, that's all we've got time for, ladies and gents. If anybody's going to the game and you're looking forward to it, please enjoy and have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday night with the phone in at 8:30. And like I said earlier, folks, Barry Bannon will be joining the panel on Monday night with us. And we'll all be taking your calls regarding the weekend's events and anything else you so wish to talk about, whether it's Mikey Johnston's new boots he's got off his birthday money that he bought there. Is it Liam Scales? He's got a tear down his right leg on his new tracksuit that Brendan gave him. If anyone wants to know that's Ryan's fault, I can tell you that now. I know for a fact what Ryan done to him. So
I burnt it in iron, man.
Handcuff marks.
Aye, handcuff marks. If it's anything at all, it doesn't matter. But have a lovely weekend, folks. We will see you again on Monday. Take care and hail. Cheers.
Oh, you can't shove the goalie in the box. Oh, you can't shove the goalie in the box. Oh, you can't shove the goalie, cause he's a holy goalie. Can't shove the goalie in the box.
The real Rangers were coming once again.